Hello there, and in this video you join me on a quintessentially grey, miserable British day, and that's because the £500 XC90 is broken again. Now if that sounds an awful lot like the introduction that I put out in the previous video, you would be right. Yes, this car has managed a whopping 224 miles before it decided it was only going to run on 4 of its 5 cylinders. Anyway, the purpose of today's video is that we're going to do a bit of investigation work, see if we can figure out what's causing the problem, and then hopefully form a plan of action. But to start with, let me show you what it's doing and also what I know about the various components that are involved and their condition. Right, so just to demonstrate the behaviour I'm getting, if I fire the car straight up on a cold start, we're getting a normal idle. However, the moment that I touch the throttle, it will start to misfire. So just a tiny blip of the throttle. Here it's now chugging. If I take you around to the exhaust end, you can hear that misfire as well. And most of the time, though not always, if I knock it off, I'm just going to stick it on side lights because I'm going to be using a fair bit of battery in this, and then fire it back up, it's now back to a normal idle. The other thing I found that sometimes allows it to go back to a normal idle is revving it right round to sort of like 3,500–4,000 RPM very briefly, and then it'll drop back. But again, if I touch the throttle again now, it'll start misfiring. There we go, we're back to a misfire again. Engine off. Give it a few seconds. Engine back on, and we're idling normally again. So it is a bit of a weird one, this one. Right, let me just take you on a brief tour of what we've got in terms of how things are at the moment. So this one, now for the purposes of this video, I'm going to go cylinders 1 to 5 from cam belt end to flywheel end. I don't know if that's right, it's just how I'm going to number them for the purposes of this video. But I can tell that injector number 1 has at some point in its life been replaced, because it is considerably more shiny than the rest of them. So like I say, if we look down, there is a bit of oil down there that I can see, but I don't know if this is sort of, I think it is just oil. I think it's oil, and to be honest with you, deterioration from the engine cover, because there's a bit of a leak round here rather than sort of any actual diesel injector chuffing type stuff, which I know can produce something that's referred to on diesel engines as the Black Death, where you've basically got diesel deposits sort of building up everywhere. I don't think I'm dealing with that at the moment, though I may well clean this up a bit more to get a better look at everything later on. So my plan now for the first stage of this is, whilst the vehicle's misfiring, I'm actually going to unplug each injector one at a time and see if any one of those injectors causes a change in behaviour. I'm going to try injector number 5. Not injector number 5. Injector number 4 has stopped the engine completely. That's interesting. Okay. Try injector 4 again. Still misfiring in the same way on injector 4. That stopped it again. Just going to try disconnecting injector 4 again. It's having no impact at all at the moment on the idle. That's my most likely culprit. So I tried injector 3. I'm just going to disconnect injector 2. Yeah, that's killed it again. Right, just do injector number 1 for completeness. Less of an impact. Interesting. Right, Right, let's see if I can bully it into a normal idle for a second. So it took a few attempts, but we've now got a normal idle again. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to disconnect injector number 4 and see if it misfires in the same way as it did before. That's interesting. Just going to give the throttle another blip. Yeah, disconnecting injector 4 makes no difference at all to that idle problem. Whereas if I disconnect any of the others, the idle changes. But 4, I don't think it's doing anything at all at the moment. I don't think it's putting any fuel into that cylinder whatsoever. If I disconnect any of the others, it either stops or there's a change, but not on cylinder number 4. So, okay, I think that gives me at least an early conclusion as to what this is going to be. The next thing I'm actually going to do is I'm going to see if I can get it back into a normal idle, and then we're going to do a leak-off test. Alright, so I'm just going to ping these clips off and hopefully not lose any of them, because I don't really want to lose them. Alright, ping these off. I imagine they might just cause a little bit of diesel to go places, and try and preserve the routing. Oh, that's in tight. Oh, it's come out. Don't want to break them particularly if I can avoid it. There we go. That's that one out. That one out. Oh, and lastly, that one. There we go. I'll just put them out of the way for now. I will give them a clean just to make sure that they don't introduce any dirt or grit into the top of the injectors. In fact, I don't know if I can just, I might just for now. Yeah, let's just root that out of the way. Just put that out of the way for the moment so that we don't have to worry about it. Right, okay, so now what I need to do is connect my leak-off kit, which I've got here, which is one of those cheap eBay specials. And then the idea is we'll run the engine and each one of these pipes will be connected to each one of those cylinders, and hopefully we should be able to see whether one injector is returning more fuel than another. I know that the correct specification for these is that I don't think an injector should return more than 40 ml of diesel in a 1 minute period. I'm probably not going to be able to measure that accurately on this, so we'll probably be more looking at, is one of them clearly filling up much faster than the other? Let me just try it with the clips back in. Oh no, there we go. So yeah, it looks like you do need to put the clips back on to hold the kit in place. Which kind of makes sense really when you think about it. There we go. Right, so we're all in. And we've got the test kit. I'm basically just going to leave sitting. Make sure you can actually see it. So we'll do that for now. We'll just wedge those bottles in between the dipstick. I'm going to fire the car back up. Hopefully it's going to idle normally, but I might need to kick it on and off a few times to make it behave. And then we'll watch these and we'll just see how they fill up, basically, one at a time. Well, I've got a Misfire. It's not the best starts. And we'll see what winds up in the tanks with a Misfire, I think, to start with. I think I'm already seeing loads of diesel up from cylinder number 4. Pretty much straight away, look. Cylinder number 4 is filling up with diesel before the others have even started. Yeah, pretty much instantly. I'd say that's pretty conclusive actually. Right, let me just knock it off and see if I can get it to idle normally. It's not having it. Nearly. Come on. No, don't want to idle normally at all at the moment. We can definitely say so far that cylinder number 4 is returning way more diesel than the rest of them. One more go at trying to get it to idle normally. Just not having it. Thing. I just wanted to get the test to run, ideally, with the car idling normally, just as sort of a confirmed comparison. Interestingly, the colour in number 3 seems to be slightly dirtier as well. There's definitely, I don't know if that will come across on camera, but the diesel in 3 isn't the same either. It's a slightly different colour. I don't know if that means anything or not. No, it's not having it. Yeah, I really don't think I need to do much more in terms of leak-off testing at the moment. I think that's pretty conclusive as to which cylinder is the fault. So we've got this confirmed now, both with a leak-off test and also by connecting and disconnecting that particular injector at idle and it having no impact on the misfire. So I think, yeah, we sort of know where we are with things. I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to have a go at doing these injectors myself or whether or not I'm going to farm out the work. But for now, what I might start doing is soaking the valley for cylinder 4 in carb cleaner as well, just so that if I do decide to have a crack at it, I've got the best possible chance later on down the line of getting that injector out, because I know getting them out can be a challenge. So whether I do it or whether somebody else does it, at least then I've given them a bit of a head start. Not the best use in the world for a detailing brush, but it's about the only thing I've got at the moment that's going to get down into that gap and just help me start clearing away some of the crap, because obviously if you do swap an injector out, ideally you want the surrounding area to be as clean as humanly possible. We've got a normal idle, which is nice. So quick look, just make sure we haven't got any leaking diesel from those leak-off pipes. It'll be fairly apparent, I think, pretty quickly if we have. Can't see anything leaking. Also a good opportunity now that I've cleared some of the crud out as well, just to make sure we've not got any chuffing going on. And again, I can't see any either. The other thing I did notice, by the way, whilst I was tidying this up, and I've repositioned it slightly, the conduit that protects that bit of wiring for cylinder number 1 is broken. Whether I fix it or whether somebody else fixes it, do need to do something to protect that wiring, because I'm sure eventually that will rub through. So, but yeah, at least it's idling okay again now for a little bit. I'm going to just touch the throttle and verify that we have a misfire condition. I'm sure we probably still have a misfire condition. It's not going to have fixed itself by some miracle, but yep, back to misfiring. So at least we know the car is behaving consistently. We've still not got any codes, no engine management light. It did, by the way, flash up a few times, engine system service required, as I unplugged each injector, but that seems to have gone away once I've turned it off and back on again and sort of reconnected them all. but those codes will be there, I think, for anybody who winds up investigating it. But yeah, it's back to missing again now, quite consistently. Okay, let's kick that off because there's just no point continuing to try and get that to do anything. I think the only good news for me, by the way, in terms of the Misfire and what I've noticed is the fact that it was returning so much diesel onto cylinder number 4 means it wasn't throwing unburnt diesel through the car. It was one of the things that concerned me, was that, you know, a lot of unburnt diesel going through could do some form of a damage to the emissions system somewhere. So it doesn't look like we've had that problem. Anyway, like I said, I'm now going to soak that valley for cylinder number 4 in some carb cleaner, and then we'll do a little bit of a quick conclusion to this video. So there you go. As you can see, I have left cylinder number 4 there now in a nice bath of carburetor cleaner, and I will leave it like that until I decide what I'm going to do with it. Now, I've got one of two options really here. I could put this into a local garage, tell them what I think is wrong with it, but ask them to obviously complete their own diagnostic process and then get them to worry about it, or I can have a go at doing it myself. Now, I've never tried to pull a diesel injector before, and I know that there are a fair few things that can go wrong with this in terms of, you know, injectors getting stuck in the head, problems with threads on clamps, resealing, etc, etc. So it may not be the most straightforward of things to do, even though in reality all I've got to deal with is an electrical connector and 2 Torx bits, and then in theory I should be able to remove it with a combination of leverage and effort. The other thing about doing it on these Euro 3 engines, I think, is if you do it correctly, which is to purchase a new clamp kit, bolts and seals, I think the circlip on these Euro 3 style diesel injectors can be a bit tricky to fit. And again, that's the other reason why I'm sort of meandering on whether having a at this myself is a good idea or whether I should just outsource it. But anyway, I think that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching this video. Like I say, I appreciate I didn't really fix anything in this video, but it was just more my approach at trying to figure out which cylinder was at fault, so at least I'd got some idea what to do next. And like I say, with the results of both unplugging the injector and the clear amount of diesel that was being returned during the leak down test, I'm pretty confident that we're not dealing with a valve train issue. I don't think it's a failed lifter or anything like that. I am 99% confident that we have got a problematic fuel injector. So anyway, all that remains for me to say is thank you very much for watching this video. If you aren't already subscribed, please do consider subscribing. I recently went over 2,000 subscribers. That's actually something that's quite dangerous, because I believe I agreed with Jim and Sean that when I went over 2,000 subscribers, I would let them buy me my next project car, which could result in peril and God knows what else. And knowing Jim and Sean, probably a bloody Fiat. But anyway, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Please do consider subscribing before you go, and I shall see you in a future video. Cheerio. I did say cars were ungrateful, didn't I? Work! Work, damn it! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was a very big moo. I'll start again. Oh God, no, I don't need mooing cows. That's really going to send me over the edge today. I'm not in Wales, I'm in Derbyshire.